Hi, I'm Sam, your resident fantasy reader,
And I'm Morgan, your romance reader, and we welcome you to Just One More Page.
where it's never just one more page.
Christmas time is here. Yay! And Sam is dying.
Sam has laryngitis.
Sam does not have a voice. We're gonna power through this.
You know what? We do it for you. Listen, it was way worse this morning. Like this morning, it just kind of came out as like squeaks. At least I can make sounds now. And so I'm sorry for you editing later every time you hear me smack my mic against something because I have to hold it close to my face or you're not going to hear me. Like this thing is like 2 centimeters from my mouth. And you see how like small my voice bar is? Because when we're recording, we can see the like voice sound wave things. And mine are really, really small and my mic is like right next to my mouth, so I ain't even being that loud.
Listen, meanwhile, I'm always close to my mic because I just like to be up and personal with it. I like to just kiss it sometimes. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. So, Sam, I cannot believe it's Christmas season.
I know.
How do you feel about it? Christmas shopping done?
The Christmas shopping for my son is done. You're almost done. Derek, I started. I need to finish. I have to buy for my father-in-law, and I think that's it. We're not really going all out for Christmas this year, so I'm getting like the main people and then kind of leaving it alone at that point. We spent most of our Christmas money on travel because we're going up to see my parents in a couple days, and I haven't seen them at Christmas time in like 4 years. So, and plane tickets are expensive, so we spent most of our Christmas money on travel, which is fine. I'm perfectly fine with it because Derek and I were like, we talked about it and we're like, we'd rather see family than spend money on items that are just going to get tossed in like a year. So it makes the most sense.
Listen, I said that I was going to have a budget for my Christmas and I started early. Like, I think I bought your presents. Like, you were all done by the beginning of November. But the thing is that my love language, Sam, through and through is, what's it called?
Gift giving?
It's,
acts of service.
Yeah, it makes me happy to give people presents. I think I definitely went over budget on my Christmas presents, but that's okay. Because you know what? Let me live my life, okay? Let me live my life. I'm really excited because this episode is going to be super fun. So every year, me and Sam, we do a Christmas special. So woo! Maybe next year we'll do like a Christmas video to go with it. I just think Sam's too sick and I'm too lazy to get dressed up. So
Well, if the tiki talkie goes down, we're probably gonna have to figure out a new way to like do videos.
we can do a YouTube live stream.
We could.
Is that a thing? A YouTube live stream?
Yeah, because YouTube live streams like gamers.
Okay, we can definitely do that. Or we can just record it and post it on YouTube. I can dress up like Elf on the Shelf. But every year, me and Sam, we release a Christmas special. Last year, I think I talked about superstitions around the world. What did you talk about, Sam? I was trying to remember. I think it's something to do with like what? Christmas in the mall? And
I think it was the origin of Santa. I can't 100% remember. I'd have to go back.
yeah, I think I remember that one too, where you were talking about the origin of it. I remember I did one where I talked about like the poop log.
Yeah, you were like, here's some folklore. Try to guess where it's from. And then when you were like the poop log, and then you were like, it's from Spain. And I'm like, how did I not know this?
Well, listen, we were doing like Christmas trivia, and I was telling one of my coworkers, I'm horrible at Christmas trivia, but if you need to know about the poop log, let me know. And my coworkers were like, what are you talking about? I was like, you don't know about the poop log? Okay. I think you must not be educated enough to know about it. But I'm excited for this year. I'll be honest with you, my story was a lot of research. I came up with this idea and I said, this is a lot of information and I don't know if I did a good job, but I would love to hear your story first, if you want to talk first.
So I decided to go because I went fluffy last year.
Oh, wait, can I also mention that we don't know what each other is talking about?
Oh, yeah. We have no idea what the other person's talking about. This is all like new information.
There is a chance that me and Sam could be telling each other the same story.
I don't think so. Maybe. So last year I went really fluffy. So this year I decided to go like weirdly. It's a Christmas episode. And I'm like, what is the darkest Christmas story I can find? So have you ever heard of I'm going to butcher this so hard. It's the Kallikantzari. Because I know you went through a lot of folklore stuff. And so I was like, oh, I don't know if Morgan's ran across these creatures, but like I was like, this seems interesting.
Fun fact, I thought you were going to say Krampus. I almost did the Krampus because I've been seeing so many thirst traps of the Krampus on TikTok.
I almost did Krampus, and then I was like, that's a very like Western folklore. Like this one's a Western folklore too. Krampus, I feel like, is like a very like well known folklore tale, and so I was like, let me pick the one with the hardest name. So these are the Kallikantzaris. A wonderful name to pick while I'm sick. And these are small, ugly creatures that are prominent in winter folklore in Greece, Cyprus, Turkey, Bulgaria, Albania, Serbia, and Bosnia. There's a lot of like overlapping areas that creatures exist. And it says most depictions of these creatures have some kind of flaw: goat hooves, monkey hands, different tongues that hang out from their mouths, oversized heads, and among other things. But the one thing they all have in common is that they're like almost like goblin like creatures. They're like tiny. Unlike a lot of other Christmas folklore, we actually know what the Kallikantzari do during the rest of the year, and they are underground where they live in the tree that holds up the earth. From the 6th of January to the 25th of December, the Kallikantzari are busy trying to saw down the tree. They're very small, so it's going to take a while. Once Christmas Day rolls around and it's finally dark enough above the ground for them to emerge, they come up out of the ground. And though they live on worms and bugs for the majority of the year, they love sugar.
So they're basically me. So they're short and they like sugar. So
And
hello.
they live in this like dark place, but like once a year for like 12 days, they come out and they're like, ha ha ha, we're going to eat all the candy canes.
Basically, it's me once again because I don't want to come out of my house. Okay, I got this.
And apparently, this is their one chance to get a hold of some. Someone
Oh,
needs to tell them about like the candy shops. Considering they've nearly completed their logging job, they deserve a little break and a little treat. And they jump from rooftop to rooftop, trying to slip down chimneys and make a mess and steal away food or babies born on Christmas Day.
wait, they steal babies?
Apparently, they steal babies too.
How did they go from I'm gonna steal a candy cane to I'm gonna steal a
Well,
child?
I have a piece in the bottom of this of like why they want the children. Luckily, the Kallikantzari have a few weaknesses. They detest sunlight, fire, holy water, and the cross, so religious paraphernalia will do the trick of keeping them at bay. And apparently me too. It's fine. In Greece, a special thorny log is burned continuously for 12 days, and the fire keeps the creatures at bay, and they also hate the smell. So each day, the ashes from the fireplace would be scattered around the property to keep evil at bay. If you try this and it doesn't work, don't worry too much, as the Kallikantzari have very short attention spans, so they will likely get distracted before they can cause any real damage. So basically, they're imps with ADHD and antisocial. It's fine.
They're us.
They are us. So on the 6th of January, it is finally too late for the Kallikantzari to remain above ground. They retreat back to their underground lair and return to finally finish the task of chopping down that massive tree. Only when they arrive back home, they find the tree has regrown itself and their mammoth task begins all over again for another year.
That is rude.
Isn't that rude? So it says it's an annual tradition in some cultures to throw, oh my God, I'm going to mess this up. It's called loku kamades. They're a donut like dessert filled with syrup because these things are like sugar loving creatures. And sausages on your roof and to sing a specific song. I did not look up the song.
So no poop log song?
The poop log song. Oh, holy poop log. It is believed that once this is done, the Kallikantzari will eat these and leave, returning to their work underground. So basically, according to legend, any child born during the 12 days of Christmas was in danger of transforming into one of these creatures during each Christmas season, starting with adulthood. And it was believed that the antidote to prevent this transformation was to bind the baby in tresses of garlic or straw, or to singe the child's toenails. According to another legend, anyone born on a Saturday could see and talk to these creatures.
Like born on any Saturday?
Like the Saturday in between, like the Christmas time, those 12 days of Christmas. It's like the 25th through the 6th or something like that.
25th of December?
Through the 6th of
I'm
January.
trying to think if I know anyone born then. I do not.
I'm born on a Saturday, but I'm born on a Saturday in February. So the reason for the garlic and everything is because a lot of the way that like the word of the creature came out, it has like somewhere of a meaning between werewolf and vampire. So you get a lot of like the vampire, werewolf, silver, garlic, that kind of stuff. So it's like a lot of folklore and mythology kind of like mixing with each other. But yeah, these creatures come out for like the 12 days of Christmas, but like apparently the horrid 12 days of Christmas. And like if you give them some sugar and sing a song, they will leave you alone. So yeah, these are the creepy creatures.
Honestly, they sound like a fun time.
How pissed off would you be if you just sat for an entire year cutting this dang tree and then you get back and it's like, oh no, it grew back But and luckily they have short attention spans because they forget every year it grows back and they have to restart the whole process.
Can you imagine if they came back and they looked at a different tree and they were like, "That's the tree we're chopping. What the hell?" And instead, it's like down the street is where the tree that they were chopping before. So they're in the forest, there's just a bunch of trees that are halfway chopped.
Well, this is the tree at the center of the earth. It's supposed to like
Oh.
represent like the core of the earth. And so they sit there and they cut and cut and cut and cut. And then they're like, oh, we're almost done. You know what we should do? Go to the earth side and go steal their babies and their donuts. And then we will come back.
For celebration.
Celebrate when you're done, man.
Listen, we do not judge ADHD because, it's not our fault. We start a bunch of tasks and we forget what we're doing. It's not my fault. Like yesterday, I started making myself a sandwich. And then I remembered, oh, yeah, I got to get my laundry done. And so I took out my laundry. And then I was like, oh, yeah, I have to go write on my notes. And then I remember, oh, shoot, halfway through my notes, I started making a sandwich, didn't I? And went back downstairs and was like, oh,
It's
yeah,
okay.
I forgot.
Go back to your tree that grew back and start cutting it back
Oh
down.
my gosh, that would be a pain. That would be a pain. Although I do love these short little kings. I do love them.
They're definitely a vibe, that's for sure.
They are definitely a vibe and they are my spirit animal. Being short, not wanting to go out, only going out for this like a small amount of time, and also liking sugar. So are you ready for my story?
Yep, let's go.
Okay. So it took me a while to decide what type of story I wanted to discuss for my part of the episode. Slowly, I realized that there are some things that I consider essential to my holiday season. Can you guess what makes my holiday season complete? Like, this is something I feel like I have to experience every holiday season.
Presents and cookies.
Yeah, true, because why not? Drinking hot chocolate with candy canes in them, listening to Kenny G's holiday album, even though I found out years ago that he's actually Jewish, but he still makes a great holiday album. And listen, my mom also has a crush on him, so I know she absolutely loves him. So we have to listen to him every year during the holidays.
Oh,
So, but
Lordy.
however, there is one thing that always plays in the background, and that is Christmas Hallmark movies.
I love them so
Do
much.
you?
Listen, Derek gives me such shit, and it's fine. But I love Hallmark movies. I know that it's going to be pretty much the same thing all the time. She lives in the city and has to go back to her hometown. He owns a Christmas tree farm. They don't like each other for whatever fucking reason. Nobody knows. And then slowly the magic of Christmas. And then they fall in love. And it's fabulous. And I love it every single time. And I will eat it up every single time.
Good, because I'm glad I chose to do a story, hopefully a good story on a holiday or really Hallmark and their Christmas movies and how they came to be. And also, there's going to be like a little mini game at the end to test your Hallmark Christmas movie knowledge. Okay, so first I thought I would tell you about some of the history of the Hallmark Company. Also, please note there is so much information and so many different things about the Hallmark. Like Hallmark owns a big chunk of things, which I did not realize. Like, did you realize that Hallmark owns the crayons, that crayon brand?
What, Crayola?
Yeah, they own them. I did not realize that until I was doing my
Well,
research.
they own like Christmas cards. They have like whole stores and stuff for like ornaments and everything. Yeah, because I've gone to like the Hallmark store before.
They own so much stuff, but I'm going to go through like a brief history of Hallmark Company and how it started. Also, please know I'm not going to go into like the full history of the company because once again, it's a lot, but you should check out websites such as like the Hallmark Company. They have like a bunch of information about their company, and also you can visit kc.com/Hallmark for more information. So let's start. 1910. A young teenager from Nebraska gets off a bus in Kansas City, Missouri, with a dream and two shoe boxes full of postcards. This was J.C. Hall, also known as Joyce Clyde Hall, a 18-year-old boy who has came to the city with so little money that he stayed at the YMCA and he couldn't afford to take a horse-drawn cab around the town. Also, by the way, if you have your phone out and you Google up bus in 1910, it's crazy. Like, because I was like doing research, I was like, there were buses in 1910. That's weird. And I looked it up. I was like, that does not look safe. Anyways, with determination, he began to sell postcards to Kansas City drugstores, bookstores, and gift shops. He was so successful that his brother, Rolly, yes, that was his brother's name, Rolly, and him created a business called the Hall Brothers. Fortunately for them, it burnt down in January 11th, 1915. You're probably thinking, why are you saying fortunately? Shouldn't you say like unfortunately? Well, listen, there is a silver lining to all of this. With $17,000 in debt, which is not the silver lining, they decided to press forward and buy a graving firm and start producing their own cards and envelopes. Now, most companies were making postcards, but the Hall brothers understood that the public's interest in a more private way of sending well wishes was a must. So they decided to create cards that you could put in envelopes and you could send out so no one would see like what you wrote to someone. Next, you have to thank the Hall brothers because they actually invented modern wrapping paper. So the brothers ran out of traditional white, red, and green monocolor tissue paper and they started to sell colorful envelope liners from France. This is something I guess because back in the day, people just wrapped their presents in regular green, red, whatever colors. They weren't exactly colorful. And because of them, they showed a new thing to add to the market. And fun fact, Hallmark is still one of the largest American producers of gift wrapped. They sell 3.2 billion every year, which is crazy to think about. Lastly, in 1928, the Hall brothers changed their name to Hallmark. A hallmark is an official mark or stamp on a gold and silver articles in England to basically show that something is great quality. J.C. Hall liked the idea of how Hallmark shows that their products are good quality while using their family name in the name of Hallmark. Now in the 21st century, Hallmark is more than a greeting card company. Obviously, they have tons of different things they sell in their stores, but they also own the Hallmark Channel. Now, from my own research, I found that the Hallmark Channel had went through a couple of changes. In the beginning, before Hallmark owned the channel was originally a religious broadcaster from 1993 to then in 1996 it was then changed to Odyssey Network, and Odyssey phased out religious programming in favor of family oriented films and TV series. Then by 1998, the Hallmark Entertaining and the Jim Henson Company acquired the stakes in the company. By 2001, Odyssey was rebranded as the Hallmark Channel. Although Hallmark owns the TV company, they actually had aired their first ever Christmas special way before this. So in December 24th, 1951, a radio show called Amel and the Night Visitor was aired on the radio, which was something that NBC kind of reached out to them, was like, hey, would you like to like sponsor this radio show? And they were like, sure, why not? So in 2009, 58 years after their first ever Christmas special, the Hallmark introduced its most famous program yet, which is called The Countdown to Christmas, with 4 holiday films. It's funny to look back at this considering now that Hallmark starts their countdown now on October 18th, where they stream holiday movies 24 hours a day until Christmas.
It's the best time of the year.
Seriously. Now, Hallmark has currently made over 307 holiday themed movies, and they even were able to have Hanukkah and queer love stories too. Another crazy thing I found about the Hallmark Channel is that it takes, want to guess how many days it takes for them to film one Christmas holiday movie?
Like 3 weeks.
15 days.
I wasn't too far off.
15 days to film one holiday movie.
I mean, if you take the sets that are all very identical to each other and you just change a few sides out and like some of the costumes, you can like rinse and repeat a lot of the stuff. It's fine.
I can definitely see it. Regardless, for me, the Hallmark Channel is always something that I will hold close to my heart. After all, there are many moments I spent on the couch watching Hallmark Christmas movies with my mother while eating snacks. And it's something that I'm always going to remember. And I feel like everyone kind of feels that way too, because like they hold such a special part. And also, they're just so cheesy. You have to love them. So I read a lot of holiday themed books around the holiday. And I thought that it'd be fun to do a guess if this is a Hallmark movie or a holiday book I've read.
I'm going to get a 50-50 shot on all of this then.
Listen, 50-50 shot is going to be fun. And there's only like, I think I only have a total of 6. You have a chance of going 50-50, okay?
Yeah.
So the first one, this takes place in a small town that was ruined by a hurricane. To get the town fixed up by Christmas, a reality star plans to fix the town up while filming it in the process. The mayor of the town hates the fact that the cameras are in the small town. So at every turn, he is fighting the reality star, not like fighting, but until suddenly he realizes that he might have been wrong about the reality star after all, and feelings start to bloom. Is this a Hallmark movie or a holiday themed book?
I'm gonna go with book.
It is a book. It's called The Christmas Fix by Lucy Score. It's a book I really didn't, I mean, I liked it, but it wasn't like the best Lucy Score book I've ever read.
Right.
I wish it was better, but it's a book. So you got one for you. Woo! Okay.
Woo!
So next one. A woman returns to her hometown for 3 weeks to become the school's superintendent and help slash the school's budget, which also means cutting down the school's music program. Unfortunately, living across the street from her is the music teacher who will suffer because of the cuts. The music teacher tries to prove to her that music is important, and through this, she rediscovers her passion for music. Is this a Christmas book or a Hallmark movie?
That is textbook movie.
That's a movie, yeah. It's called Christmas Eve, which aired in 2018, which starred Leanne Rimes.
When you were like, she's coming to cut the budget, I'm like, oh, this is a movie.
Yeah, definitely a movie. So the next one is a home health care worker named Willa, and her son has just inherited $100,000 from Mr. O'Connor. Now, Mr. O'Connor is a man that Willa actually took care of during his dying month. On top of getting this money, Mr. O'Connor has given them a chance to go visit Bramble House, which is a house where Mr. O'Connor has spent many years as a child. As the news of the inheritance gets out, Mr. O'Connor's children hears it and believes that Willa has taken advantage of their father in his dying days. So the oldest male decides to confront Willa, but things changes when he finally meets her at Bramble House. Is this a Hallmark movie or a book?
Book.
This is a Hallmark movie.
Ooh.
Called A Bramble House Christmas, which aired in 2017. So you got 2 right, 1 wrong. So next one is Finley Brown is returning home after a long year at boarding school to her small town called Christmas. She expects to find the town just as she left it, except her best friend is dating her ex-boyfriend. Her parents have separated and she is forced to work at her grandmother's inn. That is not even the worst of it, because she runs into Arthur, her classmate who she lied to. Here's the thing, Finley has lied to her classmates about how awesome Christmas was, except the truth is that her small town is extremely boring. But because he threatens her and telling the classmates and also telling her family about her lying, she has to show him a perfect Christmas. Is this a Hallmark Christmas movie or a Christmas book?
I feel like it's a book.
It is a book. So this book is called So This Is Christmas by Tracy Andreen. And I think she also came out with a second book, which is called So This Is Love. But I read this like 2 years ago. It was like one of my favorite Christmas books. I absolutely adored it. So next is after Maggie is left at the altar, she has to start her life over by opening a toy store in Friday Harbor, a small island off the coast of Washington. Mark has been raising his niece after the death of his sister, but his niece is having a hard time dealing with the death of her mother. So when Mark finds out that his niece is having to repeat the first grade again, he decides to take her back home to Friday Harbor, where he grew up. That's where they run into Maggie, whose Mark's niece instantly forms a connection with, and with the help of Maggie, Mark's niece is able to open up. But will Mark's niece find her voice again, or will she also find a family again too? Is this a Hallmark movie or is this a Christmas book?
Movie.
It's a movie, yep.
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. I'm actually proud of myself.
It's called The Christmas with Holly that aired in 2012. Listen, you're doing great. You're doing great. This is the last one. You only got 1 wrong. So in reality, you won. So last one. When a coffee shop owner is volunteered to host a Hanukkah event, which is something that she's very unprepared for, she doesn't know what to do except to ask the only other Jewish person in her town for help, which happens to be the one guy who she can't stand. He agrees to help her, but with a catch. He needs her to come home with him over the holidays to get his mother off his back. She agrees, but what she doesn't expect is to find a new ally and someone she can share Hanukkah with finally again. Is this a novel or is this a Hallmark movie?
I think it's a book.
It is a book. It's
Yay!
called Love You a Latte by Amanda Elliott, which is a book I don't like. I did not like this book because the writer made fun of Vermont a lot, which I'm like, don't Don't make fun of my home state. But yeah, that's a book. You
You
won.
can't see me, but I'm doing like a weird happy dance right now.
You know, we're happy to. Anyways, that was exciting.
That was fun. I enjoyed that. Thank you.
Listen, I am so happy that we are finally at the end of the year. When we post this, I think Christmas will be almost here.
Yeah, but this will be posted like the week of Christmas.
It's not Christmas yet, but we definitely wish you a happy Christmas or a Merry Christmas. And also, Hanukkah is being celebrated on the 25th. So, happy Hanukkah and also happy Kwanzaa.
And any other holidays that later on this time of year?
There's winter solstice, and I think I'm missing one, but happy every person who's celebrating a holiday. I hope you have a great holiday. And if you're not celebrating anything, I hope you just have a great day. I hope you have a relaxing day off of work or school or whatnot, and you play some video games or read some good books. I hope you can just have a relaxing day.
And if you don't celebrate the holidays, just remember tax season is around the corner, and then you can treat yourself to whatever you want.
Treat yourself to more books.
Treat yourself.
Treat yourself. Anyways, anything else you would like to add, Sam?
Hopefully next episode I have my voice back.
We're crossing our fingers, but we hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Please remember to rate us on Spotify, as it does help push our podcast out there. Also, remember to check out our YouTube channel. I think we're going to start posting a little bit more there now that unfortunately TikTok is going bye-bye, which is so sad because I don't know what I'm going to do with my time. And Sam will tell you about the rest of our socials.
Okay, for the short period of time that we have it left, we are on TikTok and we are just Laura Page Official. So go ahead and check us out on there. And for all the pictures and stories and anything else we decide to post, we do have an Instagram, and it's just Laura Page Official. And we are also just One More Page Official on Blue Sky. So come check us out on there. Come follow us. Come slide into our DMs. We love talking to you all. We hope you have a happy whatever you celebrate, as long as you have a good time. We will talk to you next Sunday.
Go watch a Hallmark movie.
Yeah, go watch a Hallmark movie. They're fun.
And go eat a candy cane. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Merry Christmas. Bye.